So, we're going to do this video today, and I'm going to talk about a gambit of things today. And I wanted to do these videos on Sunday, but I think Saturday is going to be the day that I choose to do these videos. So, I'm actually fasting. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say it's not difficult. The girl is struggling. Um, she hungry now. But I wanted to talk about my spirituality today. I want to talk about the journey, and I want to talk about how it is political, how it is religious, how it is spiritual, all simultaneously in one. For those of you who don't understand the jewelry, I'm an artist first and foremost, and I use my art to express myself. So the pieces that I'm wearing today, these are made from mussel shells. This is bones from a for special meals that I've eaten throughout the year, and these are made out of wood that came from a retreat that I went on that was very healing for me. And I have the blue the blue earrings pinned in with this just because it matched the dress. But the bones are the bones and the wood and the shells are meant to invoke a spirit of protection, creativity, healing. Um yeah, so that's like what I want to invoke from this. Thank you so much for the comment. Um but So I just finished doing the word of the week for my Instagram, and I just wanted to, like, I'm in a really thankful place. I'm in a really thankful place, and I understand now why I was being held back. Why um anybody who's been following me when I first came on the scene and I started doing YouTube videos, I was a Christian. I practiced Christianity simply because it was how I was brought up, and I didn't have the courage to question it. I felt like my androgynous spirit, my androgynous nature, feeling a connection to both my foremothers and my forefathers, and a more stronger connection to my foremothers made me somehow inferior to people who were able to perform within the constructs that were provided for us, like people who were able to fit neatly in the boxes that were provided for them. I felt like they were superior to me. And I don't care what anyone says. A lot of people in our community who who seek to perform this ideal or come close to the ideal of womanhood or the ideal of manhood. There's some pressure, and if you just try to fall into that box, we know that if your genitalia doesn't align with what you're resonating with, because you could be born with a penis and be resonating with womanhood, be resonating with maternal energy, resonating with feminine energy, resting in your goddess energy, or you could be born with a vagina and you could be resting in your God energy. You could be resting in your masculinity. And if your genitalia doesn't align with that which you're resonating with or that which you are performing, then it adds another layer of challenge, another layer of struggle. And I think for a long time, I wasn't able to maneuver in spaces that at the root of these spaces was this idea that you had to be able to perform manhood if you was born with a penis, and you had to be able to perform womanhood if you was born with a vagina. And so when you enter these spaces where that's automatically understood that you need to be able to perform these roles that that are supposed to be aligned with your genitalia, and this is backed by the religion that we're taught to practice, and this religion diminishes the feminine aspect of yourself. This religion belittles and undermines our foremothers and the divine feminine, and so for a long time I wasn't able to maneuver in so many spaces because my trauma was coming up for me. And and I I personally feel like it's because that's who I was in the core of my being. I feel like a lot of people on this journey who identify themselves as trans people or who identify themselves as queer, they don't really think deeper into why they're resonating with womanhood, or why they're resonating with manhood, or why they feel so connected to a certain part of themselves. They don't really do that work. They have a mother and a father, and they feel close to those examples, and that's pretty much it. There's no real background work done to understand why you wanted breast on your body, or why you you weren't happy with the vagina that you were born with. It's very, very simple for a lot of people who are born into what we have named the trans experience by way of the colonizer. There's not much work into understanding why you connect in the ways you connect with energies, and rest in a space that does not align with what you was born with between your legs. There's not a lot of us who are attempting to do that work. And for me, I had to do that work because I could not maneuver in spaces in a healthy way, in a way where I wasn't always triggered, in a way where I didn't always feel inferior, in a way where I didn't always feel insecure, in a way where I didn't always feel intimidated, in a way where I didn't always feel invalidated and obsolete and irrelevant. I could not maneuver in these spaces until I had done the work of understanding who I was and why I was the way I was. I could not just accept I was born in the wrong body. I could not just accept that. I could not just say my outsides didn't match my insides. I could not just accept that. Now, that was a band aid, that was a temporary fix. That was me going into the store and buying something off the rack. But as I matured in my being, I needed something tailor made for me. Just for me. Something to speak specifically to the experience I was having in this human form on this physical plane. And so that is when the work of Laylim Laylur began. And oddly enough, when a lot of people have their sex change, when they have their genitalia reconstructed to in the image of that energy that they feel more connected to. So if you're born transmasculine, you have your genitals reconstructed to embody the phallic. And if you are resting in your divine feminine, then you have your genitals reconstructed to mirror the yoni. And when I had my genitals reconstructed to to show up in a way that honored my foremothers and allowed me to be recognized anatomically as my foremothers without clothing, naked, that was when the journey of wholeness was really able to happen for me, because that's when I I no longer felt like there was just this loyalty that I somehow owed the patriarch. I was free. I was free, and a lot of people don't understand. We all have to do different things in order to get free. And so this was about freedom for me, because a lot of beings who were not born with a phallus or who were not born with the XY chromosome will use the fact that you have that part on your body to call into question how loyal you are to the elevation and the liberation of your foremothers. How committed you are to bringing about balance. Questioning whether you are maneuvering from a place of privilege. And I know this to be true because I have done it to people. So I'm not surprised when beings who are born with vaginas do it to beings who have penises. Just because you go and get breast and put on some hair, it doesn't mean that you will always be viewed as inferior or weaker. Because there's some big girls out there. It's some girls who's 6'6", put a wig on. Look at RuPaul. RuPaul still have his male privilege. Big Frida still have his male privilege. And these are beings who are living in their truth and blurring gender lines, but still have their male privilege. So I was a part of a generation that had to completely denounce my male privilege. And I'm thankful that I was equipped to do that. And I don't want everyone to have to do that. Let's be clear, because everyone's not built to walk in these shoes. And all of us don't get the sex change or go this far in our transition for the same reasons. Some girls just want to not have to tuck. Some girls bottoms and they don't like tucking. Some girls just want to have anatomy that makes them feel complete so that when they enter certain spaces, they don't feel uncomfortable when it's time to take off all your clothes. We all get, we all go through this process for our own reasons. But my reason for going through this was spiritual, it was religious, and it was political. It was all three of them. It helped me to gain the confidence that I needed because I knew that I had done everything that I could to show how committed I was to this journey, how committed I was to understanding womanhood, and to have as many experiences as I possibly could, despite how I chose to physically manifest in this particular reality. And through the work of Laylim Layler, I have been able to regain confidence that I lost, clarity that I lost, understanding of myself. I'm in such a beautiful and different space now. I don't have to announce to everybody. I don't have to always talk about my spirituality. I don't get in a room with people who are Christian now and just feel uncomfortable. I used to be in the room with Christians and they'll start talking about Jesus and Father, and I would just get triggered because all that did was make me feel inferior. And for some people, they can go and pick up other religions. Some of my sisters started practicing, worshiping the Orisha. Some of my sisters started practicing hoodoo. Some of my sisters started picking up other faiths. But for me, it was always in me ever since I was a child. Ever since I was a child, I can remember on Sundays, I would go outside and I would literally have panic attacks on Sunday. And I thought that I was demonic and I thought that I was some type of antichrist because I would have these feelings. I would literally feel like I couldn't breathe on Sundays. When I had to go to church, I would catch panic attacks as a child. Because my little self, my little young 8, 9 year old, 6, 7 year old self knew that something was being corrupted. My ancestors in me were panicking. They were trying to warn me. They were trying to tell me that you are just as we meant you to be. You are just as you were created to be. But now you finna go into this institution and they finna tell you that you need to perform this, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to change yourself to fit into these boxes that we've created for you. And my little young self knew spiritually and inwardly that something wasn't right. And I couldn't articulate it then. I couldn't put words to it. I couldn't explain it. But it was the corruption of my spirituality. I can remember when me and my cousins were little, all of us, we used to pray to the sun and the moon before we knew what religion was, before we knew what spirituality was. Me and my cousins and my sisters used to gather in the den of my grandmother's house, and we used to channel and embody different planets and the sun and the moon. This is what we did as children. Before we even understood what we were doing, we worshiped and celebrated the sun and the moon. Then we went into church, and this worship of man began. This worship of the human likeness and the human form began. Our idea of divinity, our idea of a creator, our idea of the supreme being went from being stars in the sky, my God is God today, to becoming a human form. This expanded way of thinking, this limitless way of thinking was reduced to a little frail white man on a cross. And they have the audacity to say that sex workers and queer folk are debauchery. The greatest debauchery is to take a child's mind and replace their ideas of divinity with what y'all replaced it with. There you go, right there. See him right there carrying that cross. And see on this side right here, you have that white man carrying the cross over here. And then you got all of these purple beings, these whole beings, who are both masculine and feminine, both dark and light, both chaos and order, both wrong and right, helping to carry the cross. It's the same painting, and it's two different ways to look at it. And in Laylim Layler, this is what it is. See, this is what it was. This is what it was. But Buster, this is what it is right now. I don't have to carry this burden alone. I don't have to be a martyr. I don't have to go by myself. I am the one and the many. Because when we work together, we become one. Why do you think all of these celebrities are where they are? Will Smith, do you know how many people are behind that brand? Beyonce, do you know how many people are behind that name? You know how much energy and how many people it took for Beyonce to become Beyonce? You know how many people it took for Tyler Perry to become Tyler Perry? Do you know how many people it took for Oprah to become Oprah? The one is the many. The many is the one. It's millions and millions of people supporting, helping to hold up that cross. Beyonce ain't carrying that by herself. Jay-Z ain't carrying that by himself. Tyler Perry ain't carrying that by himself. Oprah ain't carrying that by themselves. And then a lot of them will praise God, knowing in our mind we've been conditioned to see God as this white man. This is why I have not watched the Tyler Perry documentary yet, because that's the part I'm a struggle with. Because this man, I can't believe in my heart that his spirituality is that simple. I can't believe that these people become billionaires and their spirituality just be, thank you, Father God, King Jesus. But the fact that they will tell people that kind of rubs me the wrong way. And so I am not in a space, because I don't even want to program myself with that, because I don't want my legacy and my brand and the way that I show up in this world to be that of deception. Everything ain't your business. But some things, like what I practice to help with my mental stability, to help me walk upright, my spiritual beliefs or my spiritual ideologies, I think that's where we should be transparent if we are trying to elevate Black Indigenous people, and in elevating Black Indigenous people, we can help to heal people who may not identify with that. We can help to change the narrative, because I'm not here for any form of racial supremacy. I'm not here to put Caucasian people down. I'm not here to put Asian people down. I'm not here to put Latino people down. I'm not here to put down Pakistanis and the Indians that are from overseas. I'm not the Hindu Indian. I'm not here to put down the Europeans or the Australians. I'm not here to put anyone down, but I'm here to uplift beings who look like me, beings who resonate with being Black, beings who resonate with the diaspora, because I feel like once we have the desire to see ourselves more whole, more complete, and we stop shaming ourselves and demonizing ourselves and diminishing ourselves, then we can start to resonate on a frequency that could really change some stuff. And I've had a few Caucasian people to tell me that I think I'm better than them. And I think it's, because of the fact that I could feel comfortable in some fabric that cost $1 and some chicken bones. And maybe that's some trauma for some Caucasian people. Because when you think about it, we're always hearing that Caucasian people were cavemen. they lived in caves, and they was cannibals, and you know and they was just barbaric. And when you think of people weighing sticks and bones and shells, you think of people who are uncivilized, because that's how society has taught us to think of that. We've been taught to think of people running around with bones on and shells and sticks as uncivilized. And so if you saw a Caucasian person doing the things that I was doing, would you still view them as civilized? Would they be able to pull it off? Would it give trailer park trash, or would it give regalness? Would it give sovereignty, or would it give trailer park trash? And so the fact that, as a Negro person in this reality who was not born with a vagina, who is aspiring to blend in, to be seen as a woman, shouldn't I be doing everything to fit into what society has named the standard of womanhood? The spell that was cast on us to see ourselves as inferior. So we're always working to blend in. I should have on the bundles. I should have my face contoured. I should have had facial feminization. I should, just constantly be trying to change my aesthetic so that I could appear more relatable and more aligned with whiteness. But how dare you be comfortable in your negritude? How dare you celebrate your indigenous ancestors? How dare you embody the whole diaspora? How dare you be the indigenous being that was here before the slave ships came, and be the one that came on the slave ships and just stand in all that? How dare you? How dare you love yourself? How dare you? How dare you not want to mimic us? How dare you not want to copy our art? How dare you not want to be more like us so that you can make money and be accepted by mainstream so that everybody can see it for you? How dare you? And let me tell you something. Oh, there's an aspect of me. Oh, I'm birthing. I'm birthing something for this matrix. She's coming. Oh, she's on her way. She's manifesting. And she is going to align with this matrix. So just know that Mother, Father, Kaneen Mafa is birthing something. She is coming. But sweetheart, please know this. The foundation will be solidified. Y'all gonna have to delete a whole lot of videos. Y'all gonna have to erase a whole lot of stuff to cover up the foundation, the roots. I'll be right back. You see this right here? Now see, this, I like to tell this story. Make sure she even good. But I like to tell this story because we celebrate the tree, but we don't often celebrate the roots. See this right here? This is the roots. This all the roots. This the root work. This the foundation for the being that's coming. Her name's still gonna be Kaneen. It's gonna be another facet of Kaneen, my goddess God today. But because Kaneen is the avatar for the work. And it is not her evolution, it is her strategy. Because this girl ain't gonna be for public consumption after a while. This girl is gonna be for the actual tribe, the people who keep communion with me, my inner circle. Those are the ones who get it. We gonna celebrate. We gonna be in community like this. This is gonna be a lot of people not gonna see this entity unless we really fuck with each other. I'm letting y'all see her now so you can't lie and say you didn't know what it was. I'm letting you see what it is now so you can't say when you see me flip the script, I didn't lay that foundation first. I'm paying all honor and all tribute, and I'm going to continue to do it. My altar will always look like this. My altar will always give this. But my avatar, we're gonna do some subtle changes that's going to align with the European. Yeah. Because the village needs to be sustained. But we ain't going to lose ourselves. That's why we waited. That's why we let everybody else run ahead, honey. The ancestors said, no, you wait, watch, see how everybody path unfolding, see what's going to go on with this one, see what's going to go on with that one, see how their narrative going to work out. Study them, watch them. And all of my sisters, I watched, I studied all my sisters. Instead of working on themselves, they capitalized off of their youth. They capitalized off of how they looked. They enhanced their physical features without working on their spiritual features. A lot of them did. And that's why so many of them are burnt out. That's why so many of them have to go into hiding. Because they jumped on that surface, superficial train. You knew some $20 words because you went to school. I'm gonna give you that. You knew a few $20 words. You had $20 words and a face and a body that will get you cash prize at a ball. And that's good for you, sis. I learned from your examples. I also learned from the examples of my sisters who really honestly just was trying to eat and eat good. And now when you look at them, it shows. Greed. But greed doesn't have to be just about gaining weight. And this is not for my big bone sisters who's always been big boned. This is for my sisters who got in this work and you started off slim and you ended up getting big because you was literally eating your problems. You knew it was some fuck shit and you went along with it and you just ate good and shut the fuck up and kept it moving. Everybody, this is not for everybody. So I'm not fat shaming. But we not finna sit up here and act like all that don't lead to diabetes and high blood pressure. And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to be fit for the race. I got stuff I got to work on. I'm not condemning because I gotta hold my own self accountable. Cause baby, my weight yo-yos. Bitch, 1 minute I'm big, 1 minute I'm medium, 1 minute I'm small. It's every day it's a struggle. But I know that when I'm at my optimum health, when I'm at my best, when I have high energy, when I'm able to achieve more, accomplish more, and my brain works clearer, I am not sitting around 220, 230 pounds. That's not optimum for me. That's not my best. Now, some of us built different. We can have all that weight on our body and still be functioning at a high level. That's not my truth. That's not my narrative. And I'm not fixing to not talk about it because I don't want to offend somebody. Because some things have to be said. But anyway, back to this tree. This right here is the roots. And this is what I'm working on right now. Now, other things gonna come from this. That's gonna look different than the roots. Leaves don't look like roots. I mean, if you look closely to them, you can see roots running through the leaf. But at first glance, you don't look at a leaf and see roots. It takes on something different, but you can still see that it's connected to the roots if you study a leaf close enough. So what I'm about to give you in the near future is leaf. About to go into my leaf phase. My leaf phase, honey. But just know that at the end of the day, it's all coming from here, baby. It's all coming from here. Them roots, baby. Them roots we don't talk about and we don't see. And guess what? This being that I am working on manifesting, I have no doubt that their platform is going to expand. Their platform is going to go further. Their reach is going to go further. But it's going to have a healthy balance because of this work that I've been doing when it was only one person on the live. Or as T.S. Madison said, two or three people on the live. This work right here, this laid the foundation. And I'm always gonna lean into this. I'm always gonna remember this. I'm always gonna be connected with this part of myself. This has been for me. This has been me laying my foundation. This has been me solidifying who I am so that when I do manifest this other being that's gonna be able to maneuver in a way that the world wasn't ready to see this being. Cause we don't want to see we don't want to see this on mainstream. The gatekeepers don't want to see this. Oh, but baby, if I had on a blonde wig and some veneers. Ooh, the gatekeepers don't want to see this. No, this will not be mainstream, buddy. It will not. You will not mainstream someone who celebrates the animals who we slaughter and murder every day for substance. Someone who celebrates them by taking their bones and turning them into art. Someone who takes the wood that's fallen on the ground and didn't have any value and turns it into art. Someone who takes the seashells that we eat and acknowledges it and turns it into art. Oh no, we're not putting that in mainstream. We're not gonna let the whole world see that. We want you to have on a blonde wig or a straight wig at least, at the very least, a straight wig. Get that nose pinched, get them teeth fixed, and talk like the colonizer. Okay? Then we're gonna give you a platform, right? Okay. Get that together. Get that together. We can't have you around here being too ethnic and loving yourself too much and too hard and knowing your worth as is. We not finna, no, we not gonna click like on that. We not gonna share that to mainstream now. Because then we might have a whole bunch of people around here actually doing soul searching and doing the work to become free thinkers. And we might actually be able to evolve past what we are now. We might actually be able to open a portal to the frequency that might allow us to evolve, might allow some of us to just organically begin healing from diseases, from curses placed on us by our family, from spells cast over us. We might just all organically just start healing. And you know how at the end of the Wiz, when the Wicked Witch died and she balled up inside of that toilet, and all of them just started coming out of these ugly ass costumes, and you know who they were, these avatars that they had taken on, you know, of being these hurtful and horrible beings to becoming these beautiful radiant beings, like they were able to shed all of that when the one that was casting these spells over them was destroyed. They were able to become who they really were, who they were destined to be, who they were ordained to be. It was able to manifest due to the destruction of the spells that they had been listening to, that was telling them that they were this when all the time they were that. My God is God today. And so, you know, I get it. I understand, you know, and I'm built for riding the bench. I stated it in one of my songs. I ride the bench for the new tribe, the whole ones that got nothing to hide. We dark as the bottom of the sea, still connected to that water I just poured in my tea. Baby, no matter how much you try to dilute me, no matter what you try to put in my mind, no matter how you try to program me, no matter how you try to deceive me, no matter how you try to water me down, boo, I'm still connected to source. I'm still connected to Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I'm still connected to the divine mother and father. I'm still connected to those stars and the deepest parts of the ocean. And I know that. And nothing and no one will ever take that from me, no matter how I choose to maneuver in this reality. Let's be clear. And that's a work that not all of us have done, but many of us pretend we've done. And want to get up before you and act like a leader when you don't even really know where you going. The blind leading the blind. As a black sex change, as an indigenous sex change, as a being who is becoming purple, who is striving to become more whole, I understand the weight and the responsibility of who I am. And no, I don't think, I think this was maybe a choice that I made before I took on the flesh. But let me tell you something. I was built for this. And I'm learning to wait. I'm learning to be patient. I'm learning not to give up hope. But most importantly, to bet on me. So I said a lot in this video, and I think it was really just about unpacking, unpacking myself more, unpacking my experience more as being who I am, understanding me, um, expressing myself, celebrating my art, laying my foundation, because 2024 is going to bring about a shift. Oh, the shift is coming, baby. So y'all better get ready, honey. Wait, hold on. Y'all better get ready, honey, cause mama got a plan for 2024. Yes, and then I'm happy to be in this space where routine doesn't traumatize me like it used to. And I think the reason why routine doesn't traumatize me like it used to is because I am now creating a routine that serves me instead of just following and accepting what was there. A man, a woman. Like I am creating my routine, I am creating my spiritual practices, and I am able to determine what it looks like and how it will show up. I have other things I want to talk about, but they're more appropriate for another video. But yes, I'm very excited. So this is a video to remember, because this is where I told y'all what was up. Anyway, I light this candle to acknowledge the ancestors who have transitioned this realm today and every other day since I've been away from my altar. This these flames acknowledge past, present, and future. As I blow out the candle on the physical plane, they will grow with intensity and strength on the spiritual plane, guiding our ancestors and preparing them for times that are now, because they ain't to come, they are now. All these blessings we ask in the name of all those you sent to be world changers, world healers, and world elevators and world evolvers. A man, a woman, Lelem Leler. I acknowledge the past, present, and future, the true Trinity. And as I said in my other video, Lelem Leler is both polytheistic and monotheistic, which means that we worship the many, our ancestors, but we understand that it all comes from the one. And that one can have many faces, many stages, and many aspects, depending on where you are in understanding and understanding. And our goal is to work towards aligning and connecting as many of those aspects of ourselves as we can. But we can't force it. Everything has its time. And we need to respect that, honor that, and celebrate that. So until next time, take care of yourself, love on yourself, and I'll probably see you next Saturday because I'm really trying to mind my business in this season of my life. But 2024 may be a little different. Anyway, down but now that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning. Iangani, Iyanko, Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God, goddess, and if I am, you know you are.